What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and my internet's still being a saddlebagger, as always. So, I'm coming at you in a million different ways. I appreciate you all taking the time, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. We are finishing this draft series up. Let's effing go. I got to get myself to meeting, appointments, all kinds of stuff today. Going to try to put this out in the afternoon at some point when I have a second. So hope you enjoy it. Hope you have enjoyed this whole series, the offense, special teams, defense. But we're here finishing it up with the safeties, a very important position. And you know the Eagles heading into this draft, we have 8 picks this year, 6 the following year. So you've got yourself 14 picks here, 21 total over the next 3 years. So Howie's got his ammo. And you know just this season having 4 picks in the top 100, all 8 of our picks in the top 200, he's going to be working his magic as always. Whether that be up, down, all around, you know he's going to be a busy man. And when it comes to the safety position, this is a position the Eagles need to be looking at. Obviously, Reed Blankenship went to the Texans. We traded away Sidney Brown to the Falcons. We still have Drew Makuba. Brought back Marcus Epps. Michael Carter II will be used in a versatile defensive back role, just as was planned when we signed him. So I have him here. He's on a new deal. J.T. Gray, the special teams ace from the Saints, was brought in. Andre Sam and Brandon Johnson also brought back 2 practice squad guys that saw some regular season action. So we've got some depth there, but a lot of question marks. So this is a position that I definitely would be looking to add to, and probably with one of those first few picks. So yeah, this is probably the most important position to me and, you know, the most needed here. We've talked about all of those other positions, a lot of edge and offensive linemen, tight ends, all kinds of players here. But the safeties, the bread and butter here. That's why you see so many damn top fits here. So let's get into how I've got these guys ranked out here. And, you know, this is a class where I think you could find a starting safety in a lot of different areas. But if I'm the Eagles, I'm looking to use one of my first picks on one of these guys. And this is my top 10 here, and I changed this about 432 times. And then beyond that, you know, you've got guys. Obviously, I think it's pretty clear cut that Downs is number 1. And then, you know, argue with yourselves how you want to do it beyond that. But there's definitely some talented kids in here. And some of them I'm not even going to be able to talk about, like Lewis Moore, Dalton Johnson, Robert Spears-Jennings, Stroman. There's a lot of guys I really like that I don't have the ability to talk about, because I wish I could talk about every single one of these guys. But yeah, so I try to focus on my top picks here, and then I figured, well, we'll go from there. So we're going to start it off, and we're going to start at the back end of this draft with number 11 here, and that is Lorenzo Styles. And we've talked about his brother Sonny, the linebacker there, and we know, you know, a talented family. This kid's pretty effing talented. Former receiver, and this is a guy that still does some return. You see only 2 kick returns, 1 punt return. He ran one of those kick returns back for a touchdown. So he's clearly got some talent there. But this is a dude, you know, I think somebody that comes in, provides you special teams help, and one of those freaks on Bruce Feldman's list. So we're always looking for guys that you never know what you could do with. And he's got good damn hands. So I think as kind of a receiver, you know, he clearly is going to bring something to you as a safety. Now, as a safety, I think he's got a long ways to go, you know, and that's okay. But somebody with his talent, 4.27 speed, 6 foot 194, why the hell not? Bring somebody like him in. And, you know, again, I think he's got a lot of work to do, not only just in coverage, but in the run game as well. But with that size, with his hands, he's got okay arm length. But I just think this dude, being a freak, if he falls because of that, just the question as to what you're going to do with him. A dude with a 39-inch vertical, 1.49, 10-yard dash. This guy is a freak athlete. So to me, I really like him, but he's definitely a project. So you got to focus more on just a project, but I wouldn't mind having more than just one safety brought in here. So Lorenzo Styles makes the list. Now at number 10 here, and this guy, look, I don't know if he goes in the 5th or 6th, but if he falls there, that's where you take him. Xavier Nwankpa there out of Iowa, a guy that's a versatile piece that can play that nickel, can play that safety. This is the kind of mold we're looking for. You remember when we talked about with Cooper DeJean, why I wanted him so badly? He fit the mold. So this dude, 6'2", 208, runs a 4.48. Oh, well, yeah. Now, you have to work on his run game just a tad, and his coverage just isn't that great. I'm going to be real with you, but man, is he a beast. And he's got some damn speed for that size, and he lines up all over the place. That versatility is something I'm looking for. And as much as I talk about, having to work on that run game, his tackling, and just how he goes about it, really, he plays with that, viciousness we're looking for. So I think he's a physical guy that could definitely do that. So you're looking for guys that can grow, right? I think he just needs to be coached up, developed, and somebody that I think a very bright future if molded correctly here in the right system. So I would love to have him. I think that he's somebody that, again, is going to start off as a special teamer. So I like these guys. And yes, I'm all for adding them at the end of the draft, but I'm still focused on getting somebody that can come in and provide starting. And look, not to say these guys can't, but this is more so back end of the draft. You want to add more than just one, let's do it. Now up next here, I've heard so many differing opinions on Michael Taffy here. And I think that this is a dude that 6 foot 190, so a little undersized there. Arm length is not great. So he's definitely, in my opinion, going to fall a little bit lower than some people I've seen at him. 4.5 speed. So a lot of people will see that, but he's decent against the run, and he's awesome again in coverage. And another one of those versatile pieces that I think can play nickel, can play safety. He's got amazing instincts. His football IQ is off the chart. And, I talked about is an okay run support. Look, he actually really improved from the prior season to this past season. So somebody that shows he is coachable was something I jotted down here. And I think he's got a lot of work to do. And, with that missed tackle rate before, sure, he only missed 7 tackles this year, but it was atrocious the year before. So, yeah, that scares you. But look, I think a kid like this, if he falls down in the 4th, 5th round, this is a kid that could potentially start one day. So, you're looking at guys like Reed Blankenship who are undrafted to come out and start. So you never know. I like this kid, and I've got him here, and I think he could maybe go in the 3rd round. But if he's around this range, not mad at it at all. Now, up next here at number 8, I've got VJ Payne out of Kansas State, and this is a real fun one. Look, 6'3", 206 pounds. Holy hell. And he's not one of those versatile pieces, but my God, he's got 33 3/4 inch arms. He runs a 4.40. Wow. Only allowed 1 touchdown this past season, had 8 missed tackles, 65.4 completion percentage allowed there. And look, only 1 interception, but I mean, his coverage is definitely something to be desired. I would like to see him coached up for sure. I think I've seen it in the run game. I think he's got the talent there. He is a large dude. So he's versatile. In my opinion, when it comes to being a safety, that's what you need to be within this system. Free safety / strong safety. You really don't have that in this defense. Vic Fangio, you got to be able to do both. And I think he can do that. Now, not so much a nickel kind of guy, but he understands the assignments. And I think this is a guy with a high football IQ. And I think somebody that really, with the right coaching, is going to be something. And look, again, only 1 interception, but I've seen it, right? And that's what I try to do when I'm looking at this stuff. You can't stat watch. You got to see, does this guy have it, and is it going to translate to the NFL? And I think he's definitely got some things to work on. If, we talk about physicality in the NFL, it's not going to fly. Some of the stuff he does, he's definitely going to have to work on things. And that's why I see him maybe in the 4th, 5th round. He's really talented. He's a big dude, though. So someone gets froggy, takes him to 3rd. Okay. But if he's in that range, you got to take him if you're the Eagles. Now, up next, I've got Bishop Fitzgerald. Now, this dude a little bit smaller, right? Got ourselves a 5'11", 201 versatile D-back that can play that nickel, can play that safety. This is somebody that doesn't have the size, the measurables, any of that, but I think he's just really awesome. I love watching him. Sure, 4.55, 40, that's going to scare people, but he's really good in coverage. He's really good against the run, in my opinion. And when I say these things, of course, they need work on some of this stuff, but I just think that, he's got to work on some of his zone coverage, some of these things, when he's trying to read the quarterback, certain things I've noticed that he just gets away from him, where at an NFL level, you're not going to be able to do that. And I think he obviously has the talent to do that. Just, only one touchdown allowed, 51.5% completion percentage, only 6 missed tackles. He's really fun to watch. I think that this is a guy that if you put him in there on special teams, he's going to show you right off the bat why he's so fun. But I think overall, as much as I talk about working on zone, he's good at it. And he's shown me things that really show me that he could be a starter one day. So I really like Bishop Fitzgerald. And then if you're getting him in the 3rd, 4th round, I'd be all about it. Now, up next, I've got A.J. Halsey at number 6. And Halsey, to me, man, if he wouldn't have so many missed tackles, this dude is really fun to watch. Another one of them versatile D-backs, 4.5, 240. Look, that's not horrible for a safety there. He's 6 foot, 206. I saw 215 at one point, so maybe he's adding some pounds. Pretty good against the run. Damn good in coverage. So, yes, please and thank you. And I think in the zone, the match zone that we play, ooh, yeah, baby. And, I think he's much bigger than 206. He continues putting on pounds, or I don't know, maybe he was losing pounds for the combine. Whatever it is, he seems much bigger, plays bigger. And I just think maybe his back pedal is a little questionable. It gets a little stiff at times. His hips. I just think there's definitely some things that might make him fall. There's missed tackles there. So, sure, definitely some things that, he needs to work on. But his zone coverage makes him very desirable. 3 interceptions you see there last season. I think a very fun player to watch. Spent time in New Mexico, Houston, and then LSU here. But he's somebody I would love to have. And if you get him in the 2nd, he falls in the 3rd. Oh, hell yeah. You've got yourself a bright future, even if you've already added a safety here. So let's get into the top 5. And this, to me, was really tough, just all over the place. But Bud Clark, I really like watching this kid. He's more of like your free safety, but I think he's got the skill set that he'd do just fine here. 4'4", 140, 6'1", 188. So a little slender there, but 6 years at TSU, 23, going to be 24. So maybe that makes him fall a little bit because his talent, that speed is hell yeah, but he's actually really good against the run and pretty damn good in coverage as well. So I was a big fan. He's got great speed. I know that's a big thing in today's NFL. People always lock on to what their speed is, but it doesn't mean everything, but it's a nice thing to have. And I think he can play both man and zone, and that's huge. When you're playing in this match zone, that's a lot of man principles that go into that. So, I think you get this dude a little mass on him. Hell yeah. But he's got some injury history. So to me, that's why he falls a little bit. That's why, I have him here at 5, and that's why he could fall in the draft. And I think the Eagles, man, they'd love to have someone like him. 4 interceptions last season, 1 return for a touchdown. He's somebody to me. The sky's the limit. I would really love to have someone like Bud Clark here. And number 4, Zakee Wheatley and Penn State are here. We've seen a lot of them in this series. 6'3", 203 pounds, runs a 4.62 40. So that's not great, right? You don't want to see that kind of 40 time. But if you watch him play, again, speed is not everything. He's great against the run, and I think his coverage is pretty damn good, especially the zone that I think, he would be playing here for us. But this is a kid who I think he's got the long speed, right? It shows on tape. If you watch him, you wouldn't think he's like some slow ass dude out there. I know 4.62 is going to scare people, but this is a guy, I know it only shows 1 interception, but he is a ball hawk. He has 9 takeaways, 5 of those interceptions in his college career there at Penn State. So I really like the kid, and he is somebody that can move all over, dude. And we talk about that versatility for someone at 6'3". Hell yes. And missed 11 tackles last year. Year before was worse. So he's got to continue working on that. And he does seem a little slender there. But I think with the right coaching, some of the things that I've seen lacking, kid's going to be awesome. Add a little weight to him. Yes, please and thank you. I would happily take him here. Got him here at number 4. Now, at number 3 is the number 1 safety in this draft. I don't think Howie's going to do it, but man, maybe Howie would just one year decide to go AWOL, go nuts, trade all the way up, and get someone like a Caleb Downs to ensure this defense is insane. I don't think I need to explain to you how awesome Caleb Downs is. Another one of those versatile pieces, but not just as a nickel, you can see I have him safety / D back because I think that dude could play dime backer, box safety. Like he can come down as a linebacker in certain passing situations. He is awesome. 6 foot, 206, 4'4", 540. This mother effer, awesome against the run, amazing in coverage. I'm a really, really big fan. I think he's going to be a superstar in this league, and I'd love to have him. And look, he's not my number one fit because I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. Maybe, with whatever the hell was going on there, the information they dropped about him, maybe it drops a little bit. Look, man, I don't think it's happening, but I would jump through this effing wall right here if we were able to get Caleb Downs. I think he is a superstar. 21 years old. Kid's going to be awesome, man. He already is, but in the NFL, I think he's going to have a great career. So best of luck to him. Don't know how he's going buck wild, but if he does, I'm all in. Now, if Howie doesn't go buck wild, maybe he decides to stay put, or maybe he trades back, and maybe there's still a really good safety available. And I hear a lot of, Howie has never done this, so he can't do this, or doesn't. Look, man, if you're listening to people that tell you Howie didn't do this before, or whatever, don't listen to people that think just because something happened one year means it has to happen the next. That's some of the dumbest, laziest thinking I've ever heard of in my life. We can also sit here and say, he's from Toledo, so he's the next Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, that's pretty stupid, right? But people do that too. So try not to get caught up in the dumb stuff. This kid, 6'3", 6'4", whatever, 201. Oh my God, this a little slender, but 6'4" is quite large. 4'5'2", only 22 years old. 5 interceptions last season. Took one of those for a touchdown. Had 3 forced fumbles. I mean, 40% allowed in completion percentage. 1 touchdown allowed. I really, really, really like this kid. Getting that ball out is something he definitely does all the time. He's somebody to me that you bring in, and I think he's perfect for this zone defense. But to me, there is some work to be done. I've seen the raving and ranting, people figuring out who he is. I'm all for it. I think he's awesome, but he's got to have to work on his tackling technique. He's going to have to improve a little bit. I think his run defense is good, but it needs to be improved. His coverage, I would say he's better actually in more of a man situation than he is in zone. But I think with the man zone, like that match zone that we play, I think he would fit and be just fine here. So I like him a lot. And I think that he would be a great fit here. I think more so if you trade back, if you're like at the end of the draft, 28, 29, 30, whatever, maybe you trade back into the second, I don't know, acquire more picks. You just don't like what's there. Okay. That's where you would see something like this. Now, if there's someone like Ione still there, or, they're looking at a receiver. Okay. But I'm just trying to give you a glimpse of how my brain works here. So that's why I've got him here at number 2. But my number 1 is somebody where I feel could just be there at that position, and you could just go ahead and just take him. So Dylan Thieneman here, this is that role we're talking about, that versatile defensive back, comes in 6 foot, 201 pounds, 4'3", 540. Oh, hell yeah. Only 21 years old. And you saw what he did at Purdue, at Oregon, came in for a year. Again, he's only 21 years old. He could do it and I think his run defense could use a little work, but great tackler, only missed 7 tackles there. His coverage is off the charts. I think he's really great there too. I just think getting a guy like this is exactly who you want to pair with someone like Drew Makuba. His coverage is, seriously, I think he's probably the best coverage guy. Sure, you could argue some other guys, but he did great. And I think that this is somebody with that speed into this defense, with his versatility, being able to, you want that. I remember when everyone was telling me I was dumb because I wanted Cooper DeJean. Oh, he doesn't play corner. He doesn't play safety. Nobody knows he's versatile. It's like, that's good. I'm telling you again, this is good. You want a versatile piece that Vic Fangio can use. And if he has another piece when you already have a bunch, like, Cooper DeJean and Drew Makuba and the list goes on, we are adding another. If you tell me that, you can sign me right up. And dude's a ball hawk. I know it only shows 2 interceptions there, but yeah. And if you watch him, he's actually got that Philly toughness, that violence to his game, where I think, just a little bit of coaching up on some of the things that he's biting on, in his coverage, his pursue angles, just certain things, block shedding. I think you clean that up. This is a pick I'm really, really, really excited about. So Eagles need a safety. I just gave you a bunch of them. Dylan Thielen being my number one, but I'd love to hear your thoughts because I wouldn't mind a bunch of those guys, and we definitely need one, maybe two of them, maybe add a veteran free agent out there as well. But that's all I've got for you. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe down below. Sorry that these videos are all choppy, and I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I appreciate you guys. Hope you're all having a great week. If you need anything, you know you can always reach out. Always here for you guys as you are for me. Have yourselves a fantastic day. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, sickos. Go Birds!